And we are live. Episode 33.
Episodio 33.
The Watchers Podcast. WATCHERZ Podcast. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, wherever you want to follow us at. Tavon, Tri-State Tip on IG.
Tiger Helly 19 on the Snaps and IGZ. Facebook, The Government. Jason Williams, Follow the Stripes.
Julian Smith on Facebook and The Damaging on Instagram.
Yeah.
Smittywood 365 on your Instagram.
All right, fellas.
And the boy down there, Corey. Oh,
No Corey today. No Corey today, but keep the hate up, Corey. We appreciate it. What y'all want to start with? We're gonna save the Guardians review for last.
Because we had a
All
week.
right, so
Happy Cinco
we've been
de
starting
Mayo.
with Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Past Friday.
Mhm.
We've been starting with basketball, so I feel like it's right to continue with that while the playoffs are still going on. I don't remember where we last left off, but currently in NBA semi-conference finals.
Yeah.
So we got two matches in the East. Sixers Celtics. They're currently 2-2 after today's games. We have Heat versus
I forgot that
the
was
Knicks.
series.
Yeah, they play tomorrow night.
I believe the Heat are up
Yeah, they are.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
Okay.
2-1.
Western Conference. We got Suns Nuggets. What is that series? 2-1? 2-1 Nuggets? Yes.
Yeah,
And
2-1,
currently the game 4 is on now. And then the other side we got LA versus Golden State. 2-1 Lakers at the moment. I don't know if you guys want to start on any particular game. I'll make my predictions.
All right, let's go for it.
I got Heat beating Knicks.
Mhm.
I think that may happen.
Celtics Sixers is a tough one for me to make because I don't know which Sixers team is going to show up,
Right.
but I think it's gonna go to game 6 or 7. Well, it's 2-1 now, so
It's 2-2 now.
it's
Yeah.
2-2.
Yeah, we won
Okay, so yeah,
today.
they definitely got to go. But it may go to a game 7. Nuggets and Suns. As much as I want to hate it, to pick this, I got the Nuggets, man. I think Devin Booker's been playing out his mind, and he's probably having the best playoffs out of any player in the NBA currently. But they just not a good team together right now. They got some pieces. I'm not really feeling DeAndre Ayton.
He don't even want to be there.
He don't want to play basketball. He's on my list of people that don't play basketball.
He is Ben Simmons, but playing.
And as you can see right now, he's not in the game. He didn't finish the last game. They had Jock Landau, the third string center, finishing the game because of how bad DeAndre Ayton's been playing.
Well, I mean, to a degree, this is Phoenix's own fault because he didn't even want to come back to begin with.
Because didn't he sign with the Pacers?
He signed.
Yeah.
He was great going to the Pacers, but 11th hour, the Suns matched the deal. I mean, he does not want to be there. I mean,
He wanted his money,
yeah,
that is
and
what
they
it
didn't
and that's
wanna
what he
give
got. And now that he got his money, it's your job
to produce.
to produce. And for him to be playing, he's like, I saw a play where he was getting stopped by Jamal Murray. You 7 foot something. Why is Jamal Murray deterring you from dunking the ball?
And Joker been cooking him the whole thing.
Just everything, just his aggressiveness, everything's just screaming, I don't want to play. I'm scared. Which leaves us with Lakers Warriors. Now, as much as I think the Warriors are a better team, just because of how they play, I think Lakers has the better roster, especially to go against the Warriors. I got a feeling the refs are going to keep the Lakers in the game. That damn free throw disparity
Yeah,
that they have,
crazy, man.
and I've been saying this for weeks, is crazy. The amount of free throws that they shoot opposed to their opponents.
Way too many.
They're not going to be out of any game because I feel like they're just going to free throw their way to make sure they're not too far away. So I'm going to pick the Lakers because that's what I feel like they're going to want them to win. I think the Warriors should win, but I got a feeling it's going to be the Lakers. So.
Can the Warriors beat either Denver or Phoenix?
Yes, the Warriors can.
Possibly.
The Warriors can, and I feel like Denver could beat all the other teams as well.
I still got
Well,
Denver.
the Warriors have the gas.
See, you know what the Warriors
They
have
can.
though? They have that. You know how certain teams are just so experienced and battle tested. They're one of those teams that they're never really out of the game, even when they shouldn't be. Like even last year, everybody was questioning, were they going to make it through, let alone win the championship. It's just that they got them intangibles. Like you got Denver. Denver's good, but they are going to run into that same. Are they battle tested in like the finals? Or are you battle tested like late in those grinding games where shit ain't going your way, and then you gotta make something out of nothing. And the Warriors are like a team that can just out of nothing, like they could be down 11 points and then
Something go
boom, they
down.
back. And the game they lost, the games they've been losing, especially that last game, it was a lot of the free throw situation. And then it was just like a lot of turnovers and
I'm sorry, Dan,
avoidable stuff.
I want you that the free throw thing is just ridiculous.
Well, I've been saying the free throw Laker disparity for a minute, and oh man, there's another thing that's going on Twitter. LeBron, when he does his little spin to the rack, hops on 1 foot, and nobody ever calls it
travel.
a travel. But
yeah.
on Twitter, they going create like everybody keep pointing it out. Like, yeah, I got to start calling this. And so when you see him attack the rim and do a spin as he's attacking, notice, I'll get y'all the clips, but he tends to hop on the foot that he's pivoting and then takes an additional 2-step.
I'm gonna peep this out there.
And you see people in the crowd, because everybody been watching it on Twitter, they be like,
Now,
Iguodala even you see Iguodala going to the ref talking about he's hopping.
now it's going to be a thing.
They're gonna look at it now because Twitter is a whole other animal.
But yeah, I do think the Lakers are going to get. I got a feeling they want LeBron to get this 5th ring, man. And if this free throw disparity continues, they're going to win it all. But if they somehow get it under control and let the play, I'll show you. Eddie Griffin went on video and was like, "Look, I'm a Lakers fan, goddammit, but they taking away from the game. I don't even want to watch the game now because it's so evident they want the Lakers." And if Eddie Griffin out here saying it,
You gotta take a hard look at it.
so I know I'm not the only one, but that's why I got the Lakers on it. Do I think the Warriors should beat them? Yeah,
They should on paper. But this series has just been so inconsistent. So it's like really hard for me to really see who's got like momentum.
Like even watching the games, to me, it just looks like the Warriors are a better team. It was just meant that last.
When I'm matching them up, I can't say that for sure. I think Warriors have a better unity. I won't even say identity, but they know their style of play, and that's what they play.
Bigger question is Jordan Poole. This dude done went into a slump.
Honestly, at this point, I trade DeAndre Ayton for Jordan Poole. I think they make about the similar money. I think Phoenix could use somebody else that can help scoring, that ain't afraid to shoot, and one less center. We got to get rid of Ayton. The Ayton off the books.
Ayton does not. Like I said, he got his money, but he didn't.
Jock Landau. Have you ever heard of him?
Nope. Not until you just said it.
The third string center is getting his minutes.
Oh yeah.
That's the white boy right there playing that. Not him.
He's not even in there right now.
Joker.
No.
Oh, I know you. I see you talking about it.
But right there.
Okay.
That's bad that looks bad, period.
And he getting like 30 million a year.
So they ain't worried about it as long as KD.
He got 4 points last game. He got 4 points last game.
I think he's going to be moved in the offseason.
And no Chris Paul, right?
Chris Paul did his normal routine. Let me get injured.
It's time.
But you know what? He's almost a defensive liability, and I think they're better on defense when he's not in.
So who brought up the point that he should have been coming off the bench?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
He will be
now.
a good. Let me make sure that the second unit get going. we running some good plays type of player. He can't keep up with Jamal Murray's and these young boys right now.
He was running and he just seen him point at it like right away. I said, "Oh man!"
But that's just this vintage Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He knew what to do. He's like, "Yep, I did my minutes for the season. I hit my quota for this all
He
season."
was at max capacity. Oh man,
His
So-
power level is peak 1,000.
he got to start letting Cliff Paul get in the game then.
I don't know what he got to do, but
It's a clip.
are y'all agreeing with my picks, or do y'all have different than me?
I still got Denver winning the whole thing.
Okay.
Just because of, I mean, they got the well-rounded team. I mean, Philly and Boston right now. To me, that's who I think is going to represent the East. But
Okay.
I just think they're both kind of also inconsistent as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Boston one day is playing lights out, and then you're letting James Harden go off a couple nights in a row. So.
My boy, I'm sorry. I wish Corey was here. My boy Devin Booker. I don't care what you got to say, Cap. Go ahead and rewatch this, replay it. But my boy Devin Booker is having a playoff right now.
He hooping, man. Give him that, man.
His postseason right now is one for the ages. I don't care what you got to say, Cap. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. So you had Philly or Boston coming out the East. Nuggets coming out the West?
Yeah.
And then Nuggets the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Brian?
Yeah, the way how this game is looking, and the way how that Warriors Lakers thing is looking, it might be Denver representing the West, and I'm gonna try to be unbiased with the East. Like I say we. I'm a Sixers fan. Get that out there. We can beat the three teams remaining. Mm-hmm. Like we've done it before. We smoked them out of arenas before. Mm-hmm. That was during the regular season. But postseason, it's like we play like we don't even deserve to be there. Like it don't be looking good. So when we win games, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a little excited because I'm like, yo, the way how y'all play, it's like y'all should lose every game.
Yeah.
So to try to be unbiased, I'm still picking Philly.
Okay.
Even if I'm being unbiased, because I just think that because we can, because we have beat those teams before by large amounts of points, and we should be able to do it again when it count.
Jay?
Those Sixers.
I mean, I agree with you on the series with Lakers Warriors. Not who's going to win it, but with the refs. Starting to get a little bit like the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs. But anyway, I think the Warriors are going to pull that series out.
Okay.
This next game is going to really tell. If they win this next game, they got the home court again, and I think they could pull it out if they win this next game. I think they're going to end up playing Denver.
Okay.
That'll be a good series.
That would be a good series.
You got the experience versus the young guys,
Mm-hmm.
Be a good series. Over in the East is tough because I could see the Sixers beating the Celtics in this series, and like Brian said,
can any of y'all see the Heat?
I can see the Heat winning this series, but I don't know if the Heat can consistently beat
The other two teams.
the Sixers or the Celtics.
Okay.
Especially Jimmy Butler's hurting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because without him, they
Oh
don't do
Jimmy
right.
Butler's a must. Like,
Yeah. He came back.
is he?
He came back last game. He set the one game out.
Well, without him, they're nothing.
Yeah.
Like, so he's the only person you really got to shut down. Because when he gets going, he gets everybody else going. You shut him down, and everyone else is done.
You think the Bucks thought that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't shut him down, though.
Hey, they had two great defenders.
He still was cooking them.
They got two great defenders, so I don't know.
That's what has to be done to him, though. He has to be shut down. And then we got a player on our squad that knows him, that was right next to him.
Okay.
So, it's...
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, as a
I do think the Heat were going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Whoever that other opponent is will remain to be seen, but we'll see.
I will say this though, but the playoffs has been very, very, very good for for what it's been so far, though. I mean, it hasn't been really like a boring game. I mean, it's been some blowouts, but I mean, they've been competitive.
They had some good matchups, especially early on.
Speaking of Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
We want to talk about the head coach being fired?
Did we talk about that last time?
No, he got fired.
We did not.
He got fired the other day.
So, Budenholzer. What's his first name? Mike Budenholzer? Budenholzer.
Budenholzer.
So, let go by the Bucks after their 4-1 series loss to the Heat. Number 1 team in the league. Lost to the number 8 seed in the East. What I did not know is his brother died recently during that series.
Yeah, didn't tell the team.
Yeah, and I think that his departure might have been a mutual agreement. I don't think he was just focused on basketball at the time. So
that sounds about right.
That's where I see that at. Unfortunate for the Bucks. Do they still have a good team? Yeah, but do I think they're going to reach what they did in 2020 again? Probably not. I think they got some. I think Middleton might be.
Lopez too is a free agent.
Some of them might be, up for contract. So
yeah, Middleton is, and Brook Lopez. Yeah, he is too.
Just imagine if the Warriors got Giannis for next season.
I don't think that's happening, but
he was saying he want to go there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that would be
shut
insane.
the league down. Shut it down.
Man, that's a cheat code right there.
Steph said, I'm chilling every game now. I'm just throwing oops to him.
I'm just throwing straight lobs.
Yeah, because, not hoping that's the reason, but kind of still hoping that's the reason. It was a mutual thing because I think it's because I didn't understand. I said,
you don't fire
a coach that
right.
It's been only 2 years since you won a championship,
right? And still had your number one.
Yeah, you was number one in the East this year, and last year
number one in the league, not even the East.
Oh, they were
number one overall.
Oh, you know what? I thought Denver was number one overall. So definitely.
Nuggets overtook. Bucks overtook them.
So maybe.
Why did they fired them? Why couldn't they just say mutually?
So when I first heard the article, it was on ESPN, and they kept saying that he parted ways.
Yeah, okay.
But then when it came out in like other outlets, everybody said fired. But when I first read it, it just said parted ways.
Yeah, I like that. That sounds a little better.
Yeah.
Mutually parted ways sounds better.
Like when I break up with somebody, whatever the next
ex-girlfriend
is,
maybe not mutual. It's not mutual, but we parted ways for sure. We parted.
My way, your way.
It was mutual parted ways.
Yeah, part ways. Yeah. That's the theme right now.
Oh boy.
Oh! I didn't say anything.
Can I get a little bit more of this?
Mad Diggy.
Yeah.
We can't say the name.
It's all you.
Mad. It's not even a name. Everybody been calling it Mad Dog for years, but it's not even. That's not even what it means. I forgot. It's like the owner, the creators.
Oh, I never.
It's like their initials or some shit.
Oh man,
we just call it Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Yo, it's the Mandela effect because I could have swore it said Mad Dog on that bottle. As many of them I've bought.
No, always MD 2020.
Yeah,
oh, shit,
I'm gonna Google it in a second.
Oh shit, then we can make up our own name.
Yeah,
Mad Dizzy.
Mass Destruction.
Speaking of making up and writing things, there is a writer's strike happening right now in Hollywood.
Boo.
And it's affecting some things, okay? One thing that's affected me, that I feel some type of way about, Stranger Things, the last season.
Yeah.
Is now on hold. These little kids going to be adults by the time they start filming it, and it's getting me upset. Stranger Things is supposed to be out this summer, I think.
Yeah.
I'm cool because I'm still on season 5.
Man.
I've never watched
the last season was fire.
Yeah,
the last season.
I'm still in it. I'm still in it.
Oh,
hey! I'm still in it.
That last season.
I'm like
had you in your. Oh,
yeah. I'm like 3, 4, maybe 5 episodes in.
All right, yeah. Make sure you catch up. That last season gonna get you, man.
How many seasons has it been?
I think it's 4 or 5.
5, right?
5. So this is 5, and then there's a second half of 5 that
they broke it down, but
it's about that. It was supposed to happen, which is supposed to be the end of it.
And the second half is done after that.
Yeah, but they ain't filming. They ain't start filming it yet.
Because now they're on the strike. It's best to live things up now, right now.
You know what? Not to get off subject, but I kind of like when series do that, like when they have a end in mind when they begin, or even halfway through, when they have an end and you know it's going to end at some point. I feel like I'm saying end too many times, but the conclusion. So you know you have a conclusion to your series ahead of time. I like that because I feel like a lot of shows, they get successful and they keep going, and they don't have an end game.
They just making it up as they go along. Yeah.
So then it ends up getting a little dry towards the end because you've run out of ideas and you kept it going so long. Versus, hey, we have a cohesive vision
story. You have an overall story.
Yeah, what we're going to tell, and this is going to be it, and then boom, you get to the end.
So just to go back real quick, MD 2020, Mogan David. Mogan
David, this team,
but is widely known as Mad Dog. All right, so Brian, as a writer yourself, I'm not sure what the deal is with this whole writer strike. I'm sure it's about pay and compensation and equal rights, but it's definitely about treated fairly. Maybe maybe some more executive decision. I could look up into what the actual deal is.
It's definitely about the cash.
I just got to ask you one thing.
Was that
for like a writer's perspective? Now, do you think since they paid the VFX people all this amount of money for them, what's going down, do you think the writers should be getting more than the VFX department, or do you think it should be a collaborative effort?
See, that's a tough question because the VFX folks, they get paid handsomely anyway. Because they're the ones that got to turn it in and make it look good. It's on them to make the product look good. But when it comes to writers, I think there's no film. There's no reason for VFX. There's no reason for directors. There's no reason for actors. There's no reason for production companies if you don't have people to write your stories. So it starts with writers and it ends with writers. So it has to be, they have to be taken care of. We had to be taken care of. I include myself, even though I ain't unionized.
Yeah.
But I feel their pain. So it's definitely something that they shouldn't even be. They should be the last one out of all the unions arguing about money.
So the strike, this is according to Wikipedia, it's an ongoing labor dispute between the Writers Guild of America, their labor union, and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. Let's see. It says the main focus point in the labor dispute is the residuals from streaming media.
Oh, wow.
The Writers Guild of America claims that the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers share of such residuals has cut much of the writers' average income compared to decades ago. Another thing, I know we talked about AI a couple weeks ago, but writers also want AI, such as ChatGPT, which is like a self-writing application in AI. It can like answer questions. It can create its own, whatever, to be used only as a tool that can help research and facilitate script ideas, and not be used as tools to replace them being the writers. So there's a fear now of AI replacing the writers, creating these stories.
Because there's a I forgot what's
that's
one
crazy.
of these. There's a bunch of scripts that's floating around online where the AI did make a complete script off of ideas that were typed into it.
They making full Drake songs with the Drake voice.
Yo, that Drake weekend.
Yeah,
that Drake weekend was a hit. I listened to it.
For me, I don't think AIs will ever take the spot of a human writer. Though
you say it right now, man.
I don't think it will. Only reason why.
But if all I got to do is press enter and it just came up with a whole sci-fi fantasy I could read and change, like say I don't agree with everything, but it just made a whole new plot up.
I think you would have to.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
The only way that would be possible is you'd have to come up. The writer, you'd have to come up with the outline. You'd have to come up with the beginning, the middle, and the end. Because if you just type character names into the program and say here AI go from there, and it's not the same idea you have, then it's still two different people.
But all I'm saying, Brian, if I'm some producer, right, and I gotta hire 5 writers, or just go to this program and say make me a dragon movie, and that shit spit out a dragon movie, a Dragon Quest movie, and I could read it and be like, well, I'll just change this.
So y'all think this may be?
That's gonna be hard to justify,
so
Brian.
y'all think?
It ain't gonna happen.
That's one movie, one program.
It won't happen.
I can keep making new movies from this one program.
The one thing, the union ain't gonna let it happen.
Well, that's what they're arguing.
So the union.
That's what the argument
Unions
is
won't let it
happening.
happen because.
But that's a hell of an argument, right?
You think
now.
about it like this, right? So all unions stand together. So if the AI is the one that's gonna replace the writers, then they're gonna have AI actors too.
No,
because the actors
it's gonna be Vin Diesel.
The actors is gonna stand with the writers.
Family.
Well,
but I mean,
I get your point. I do get your point.
The actual folks, everyone that's union, all the unions.
I agree. I agree. I hope they do not get rid of writers. However, I can see where this is going to be a slippery slope, and possibly 50 years, 10 years from now, we might not need cashiers. And you see, they've been saying that for years. And then if you go to a shop right now, they're all self-scanning the lines, and I don't know if that.
Is this going to be an easy?
I'm be honest.
Basically?
Yeah, I'm looking at just being devil's advocate. That's a hard fight.
I just don't think it's possible.
Okay.
I think somebody will try it, but you're at the end of the day, you're going to need a human writer.
Because you just said so yourself that you would if you saw it and you wanted to make changes. So there's a need for a human being.
So then it diminishes the scale. If I only need a part-time writer or one guy I can keep on retainer.
That's pretty much how it is now.
Okay. I don't know how it is.
It's pretty much the same way because. You think about that's just something. I'm just saying that's something else y'all got to compete with now. That sucks. I don't think you understand the I get it.
The length of this AI.
Trust me, I get it. And when it comes to people who have money, they're always going to want to do the cheapest route anyway. Like I understand.
I just don't think you get the scope of what this AI is doing today.
I understand it. I understand 100%.
Like today.
I understand it 100%.
Not like 5 years from now.
I understand it. I understand what you're saying, but I also understand what you already said when you said that it's going to print something out. But me as another set of eyes is going to make corrections. So that to me is already saying that that they're not going to replace humans.
Yeah.
If you would have said it's going to make the movie and they're going to take whatever it spits out and make it and have no corrections by anyone, that's a different argument. But you were already saying that they're going to have another set of eyes.
But I'm not asking somebody to make me a story. Now I'm asking them just to edit.
Well, where does it get the info?
This damn thing is smart.
But who plugs it in there?
It's no plug-in. It's grabbing references from online, from various sources in like everything.
It's something like a Reddit.
Who tells it though?
There is no. All right, I'm going to show you a video.
You said that you could tell it to make a dragon movie, right? That's what you said. So somebody had to tell it to make a dragon movie.
Sure.
So there's going to have to be a human involved,
but not a writer.
There's going to have to be a human
that
involved.
Could be a
there's going to have to be a writer though.
Not necessarily.
All right.
I think that's what they're arguing. I think part of it is getting ahead of the curve and saying, hey, we can use AI to help us, come up with ideas, but don't replace us with AI. I think that's part of this strike.
I think that you will see a lot of what's going on right now because I speak to writers all the time, and Hollywood's biggest problem with filmmaking is the fact they don't take risk. That's the problem. That's why there's multiple sequels, reimagined, reboot, re-image, re-whatever. All those come from the studios saying, this property works. I know it works, so that's why I'm going to spend $100 million to make another Maverick movie opposed to making a different kind of movie that's using airplanes. Okay. That's just what they do. It's all about existing properties. The AIs will make movies based off of stuff that's already out there. It'll have that. It won't come up with new ideas.
Okay. Until the T-1000 show up, and then you're gonna be all.
But in general, this strike is messing up some things, though. I mean,
yes, not only Stranger Things, we also got news.
Blade got canceled.
Blade not canceled.
Oh, not canceled. They tabled it.
Is postponed at the moment. Blade itself was.
Don't get it twisted. People can still work. They can still work. They just can't, submit stuff and get it made for money. They can't do that.
So one other question.
That's crossing the picket line.
So now, if it was now if they
Don't be a
turned
scab.
Yeah, don't be a scab.
Yeah, don't be a scab. Now, if somebody turned in a script before the strike and it's like a working script, they can go off of that and start filming the movie.
They can't. Like, unless
you're
that
not down,
contract
you're not
is already
down.
signed.
Yeah.
If you submitting right now, you're not down for the cause.
Yeah, you can't.
You out here, you set tripping.
If you go
I'm trying to get payday. We all out here.
The one thing, and I can show you emails I've gotten from people, like you just don't want to do it. The one thing you say, if they come at you and say, thank you, but can we speak after the strike is over? That's how you, and that is how you stay off of a blacklist that you don't want to be on once they agree, because they're going to agree. They're going to start making movies again. The writers are going to get what they want. The studios are going to get what they want, and it's going to come back. But you don't want to be on the opposite side of that, saying that you got $9 million for your feature while they was out on strike. Because when that happens and it comes time for you to join the union or you to pay your dues,
It's all right. I got $9 million, motherfucker.
I hope that $9 million can sustain you for the rest of your life, and for the life of the folks you leaving behind, because it is not worth it. It's 100% not worth it.
I ain't got $9 million right now, so I
What else got delayed because of this strike?
I'm sure there's shows.
I don't know if I want to do business with you, Dave. I
Hey,
can blacklisted doing nothing.
Hey, give me $9 million. I don't give a fuck.
Brian gonna be guilty by association. I ain't even started doing nothing, and I'm already on the blacklist.
And also don't get it confused either, because as independent filmmakers, you can still make films. You just can't say I had this movie done and I'm ready to sell it to Hulu. You can't do that. Then you put yourself on that list too. So you can still make content, you can still make your movies, but you just don't want to sell it to nobody.
Be on YouTube with us.
There you go.
Yep.
Like all the late night shows.
Yeah, they're on strike now.
Yeah, late night shows. Are
They
jacked up.
they work with union.
They're the main ones.
What's the name's jacked up? Abbott Elementary,
Okay.
which I'm still trying to start.
That's good, man. I like that shit.
It's a lot of stuff jacked up right now. So
Pay the writers.
at the end of the day, everybody stop being greedy. Spread the money. It's enough for everybody.
With no writers, there's no industry.
It's enough for everybody. So
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. We had a couple of things happen this weekend. There was a Canelo fight. I watched the end of it. Canelo won versus
I didn't even know he fought.
some dude named Josh Ryder, I think his name was. I never heard of the guy.
I forgot he fought. Man.
But yeah, I be forgetting he fight. He did not look good. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He did not look good.
He hasn't
Looked
really-
sluggish.
He hasn't really looked
And
good since.
they've been talking
fought
about
Triple
retirement and stuff. And I'm looking, I'm like, he must have been fine. Then I Googled him. He only 32. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
You figure he came in boxing. He was like
He was young,
yeah, he
but
was like 18.
but still, you 32. You got at least to about 35. So you start saying, all right, I'm gonna start thinking about retiring. I don't know. I guess to me, Floyd Mayweather kind of set the standard now, because what he retired at 40 something, 45, 46,
45, I believe.
45, right? Something.
But
over
is he
there.
retired though? Because he still takes.
But his professional fights, he retired.
He's just doing exhibitions, just
Right.
to fight in places that he's never been.
But he still looked decent. It was not pretty at all from the Canelo I remember.
I think Floyd now exhibition can still probably beat a couple of these boxers right now.
Yeah.
I mean, decision, but he ain't knocking nobody.
But in other combat sports, we got UFC 288, I believe it was. I didn't see all the fights, but the main card was Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. Why did they call him Triple C? What the fuck is it?
He won a championship. Well, he won 2 championships. For
And then the
UFC,
Olympics?
And then he won a gold medal.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
hence Triple C.
Gotcha.
I watched
I like Henry Cejudo. I like Aljamain as well. I do agree Aljamain won.
he definitely won.
I was a little
Underwhelmed.
I wish he did a little bit more in at least the 4th or 5th round to seal it. It was closer than it needed to be, in my opinion.
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Me and Cap, we especially Cap, he was calling a draw. We thought
It was a little too close.
It
It was a little too close.
Like I thought he won, but it wasn't enough to make it.
Right. You got it. You have to take it from the champion. You can't
figure
get
this is his first
great
fight in like
3 years.
Yeah,
It was 3 years.
4 years, something like that.
But I didn't know why he kept going for that takedown.
And it didn't look good.
He
It
was
did not
going
look
for
good
that
at all.
stick down.
It did not
I was
look
like,
good
bro,
at all.
he was having more.
Thing, though.
He was having more success in the stand up, and they even
He
called
stopped
it
kicking.
when they were mic'd up,
Yep.
and his coach was talking to him. He was like, he was telling him to lose the takedown. He was
Yeah.
like, yo, just
all he
stand
had to
up.
do was kick his leg
Yeah, he was
for the
kicking
whole
shit-
fifth
he was
round.
kicking the shit out
But
of his
he
legs,
was stopped.
too.
He was stopped.
Yeah.
He was starting the beginning of the round and then stop. He'll do
He
about
was
2 or
kicking
3
the shit
kicks.
out. And then he had a bunch of openings. Like he get the leg kick in, and he like Swerdo was open. I say you gotta like
You got the
wasn't
longer
hitting-
reach.
He wasn't hitting combos or nothing. It was
Nothing.
It was
nothing. Like almost timid.
I was underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like he won the fight, but I was.
It was
still
too close for
underwhelmed
me,
with-
and I was like, it shouldn't have been that close. He should have distinct.
He had all types of openings. It was just
Yeah, he should have distinctively won that match, and he left it open for the other guy to possibly win it, which came down to a split decision, by the way. But
That lets you know how close the fight was. Man.
yeah,
I mean, it was. Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for Aljamain Sterling. I mean, even though that he won the belt under some crazy circumstances, I mean, he's
Yeah.
been defending it. I mean, and
I didn't know he had surgery on his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see us was on his neck too.
Yeah.
He was
You make
sometimes
sure
he
you
was just
kept
pressing
pushing
on
it down,
his
yeah.
neck. I was like, damn.
Uh,
I don't want to see a draws out here.
it looks like we're going to get
So,
Sterling versus
Riff
Shane
MTV's.
O'Malley.
Shane O'Malley.
Riff Raff came out there. I was
He's
like, yo, you
going
about to
now.
rap or what?
I mean, Sterling gonna beat him up, man.
We'll see. What's his name is bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
He's bigger than I
Stand
thought.
next to him.
Yeah, when you see them together, you're like, oh, okay, now I kind
He
of.
was talking that shit. He was like, yo, your daddy Dana can't. And Dana standing right there. He's like, your daddy Dana can't protect you.
You know, Dana White don't want nobody, like Aljamain is the champ.
He wants to get that belt off of him as quick as he got Dion Mighty Mouse out of there, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was like, your daddy Dana can't help you now.
Because, I mean, they have been giving Shane O'Malley, like, feeder fights. I mean, just to get him going.
And then when he won like 2 fights, and they're like, okay, now you're
Then they put
So he won a few.
they put him in
I guess
there
it's
with-
really with the notable fighters is where it comes in question.
Well, he hasn't. They put him in there with one, and he ended up got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he
I
lost. I can't remember he
That's what
lost it,
turned
but
me
he,
off to the UFC when they started making fights like this happen. It just turned me off.
It's going to happen because it's money. I mean, Shane O'Malley. I mean, he's a smart businessman. You jump in the cage when the guy's like already riled up. So, I mean, they're going to make the fight. It'll make a little bit of money.
I think it was already in the works, and because they said we're going to
Bless
get.
you.
Kazum said
Salud, cousin tight.
we're going to. They said they were going to bring him up in a few minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much all I remember. The co-main event wasn't bad.
That's the guy,
Muhammad?
Bel Mahal.
Bilal
Muhammad.
Muhammad. He looks good. He looks good.
He's been-
And I felt bad for
Gil Burns.
Gilbert Burns
This was
because
his third fight this year, though.
yeah,
Within the span, he just fought 3 weeks.
he
ago.
obviously had something wrong with his shoulder. He stopped throwing with one hand.
Ain't that the one that fought
Masvidal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just like it felt like 2 weeks ago.
Nah,
Yeah, he's been fighting.
Yeah, we were watching it. Cap looked at me. I was like, "Yo."
Yeah,
He was like, "Yo, didn't he
He
just
been
fight
out there.
us?"
He been out there.
He actually
He even got to change clothes. How close it was.
he actually called the guy out before the fight because he basically said that he wasn't getting no title shots. So he said the only way that he has to do it is just to stay active so he can get his name in there. So he ended up fighting the boogeyman of the division. He called him out, and the guy obliged him, and he ended up winning. But I mean, shout out to Gil Burns though. Man. I mean,
He's one
This
tough
is
customer. As they say.
literally been fighting everybody.
Damn.
I mean, he went toe to toe with Kazmat.
Kamaru Usman.
Nah, he went with
He fought Usman.
Yeah, he fought Usman. He fought.
but
Kazmat.
it was Kazmat.
Yeah, Kazmat. I mean, he went at him with it. A lot of people ain't really trying to fight him. He was trying to end that man. So we'll see what happens where he goes from here, though. Man.
Yeah.
He got a title shot though. I mean, he has opportunity. It just didn't go his way.
Man, I just feel bad.
He's just
for
working
him.
his way back now.
So yeah, let's go ahead and move to wrestling. WWE Backlash happened last night.
Not a bad pay-per-view.
I did not hate it. I did not like the main event fight. But the rest of the matches, decent.
I didn't even finish it.
Okay, so are you okay with us telling who won? And
yeah, I'm not super invested.
I think my favorite match was Io and Belair. Though.
Good match.
That was good.
Good match. I was really entertained with the Bad Bunny.
Damian Priest fight.
Damian Priest fight. I was entertained.
That was good though.
And I don't know what I really thought about the Osmos, whatever his name is. Seth Rollins. That was just something to just have to fill up some space. That's not peak Seth Rollins. I do think we're going to get some, because Seth Rollins right now, and I know we've been talking about this, but his crowd reactions with that damn intro is next level.
Before we get into all the way into Seth, just on Omos' part, I'm not understanding the booking with him.
Why he keep getting booked and losing?
Because you wanted to build him as this monster, this giant,
but he keeps losing,
and he's a monster, and he's unstoppable.
He's 7 foot.
You booked him to lose in the last 2 pay-per-views because you're feeding him to people that rightfully probably should go over. Mm-hmm. But why are you booking him with
that person?
You need to book him in the program,
and that's why I say I don't know. I agree with that.
I was like, what's the even point of him being an MVP, being with him just for him to lose?
Yes. So I do feel like they did do a better job with what's the guy who was with Bray Wyatt and them back in the day, but then he broke off.
Braun Strowman.
Remember when Braun Strowman had that first initial, I'm Braun Strowman, not with them? He was like demolishing everybody.
Mm-hmm. And you booked him right.
Right.
Make him a monster.
Right. A monster among men type thing.
Now he just runs around with tight red pants. That's a whole nother.
But his original run, that's how he was booked. He was unbeatable. This guy has been just losing. I'm not afraid of myself.
Omos is bigger than him.
Yeah,
and then
he's losing.
Like, I'm not getting the booking on that. And then on the subject of Seth Rollins, I'm just gonna go back to what Brian said last week.
What is he?
Because I feel the same way. Like, I feel like when I'm watching him, I don't know, and I know they're some of them are being characters and all that, but it's something inauthentic about him. Okay. It's just something about Seth Rollins that I just feel like he's trying to be whatever he thinks the wave is going to be for him, versus you digging into a character and you being the character that you believe in. I just feel like he's just out here, wearing his wife's clothing. Not that there's anything wrong with wearing your wife's clothing if you feel the need to. I don't shame anybody for what they want to wear, but I feel like the outfits, which I myself understand what it's like to be eclectic and dress different, But him, I feel like it's not something that's in his wheelhouse of things that he's interested in or likes to do.
It looks like they're trying to have him be like wrestling's Freddie Mercury.
Like they're but he's over with the song.
He's really over with the song. I think he's going to be that Raw heavyweight champion.
I mean,
I think it's going to be him either versus Finn Balor or him versus AJ Styles.
I mean, whoever it is, he deserves it. I mean, he been holding that Raw brand down for a minute.
And maybe he doesn't have a set identity, but whatever he's doing right now, I feel like this is the most over I've seen Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it's a weird over though.
it may be weird, but this is the most I've seen him over in a while.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. When he came out with the big red boots, I was so that he been my boy since then.
It feels like too much. I'm sorry, Brian.
No, you good. Go ahead.
It just feels like too much. Even the way he like laughs and everything he does, it
and
feels
so
like
part of it to me
trying so hard.
Is not that it's they were trying to think of a thing for the Hollywood WrestleMania theme, and he was gonna go with like a Joker theme, and I think that kind of fizzled out. But I think he kept that part in his personality, which is that high pitch, that overt laugh.
Yes.
And that extraness that he brings to it is semi-Joker-ish.
Yeah. I mean, it's working for him, but I'm just like, okay, where's the end game with it? But good luck to him. But yes, that Bad Bunny match was a badass fight, though. that was a good one.
That was my favorite. I can't remember it, honestly. I only remember Bianca Belair's fight, and the only reason I remember that is because she botched a power slam.
Oh, no, that when she had her up.
Yeah, she botched that and
Almost
almost dropped her on the neck.
I was like, oh.
I like Io Sky.
I do like
Or
her
Io
too.
Sky,
Io
sorry.
Sky, I like her too.
She's gorgeous. I don't like her just because she's gorgeous, but she's gorgeous.
Yeah, you like her because she's gorgeous.
I mean, I like, and her in ring's dope too. I like.
And you like her because she's
I've always, but even since I was young, I always gravitated to Japanese strong style, and then I liked when
Shinsuke back.
the Japanese started integrating a lot more high flying,
Mhm.
and so you have strong style and high flying, kind of in the same. I've always been. I love Japanese wrestling.
Well, you know,
But,
she actually started off, and she made her name in Mexico. Then went back.
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why she was kind of like really over there. She made her big name over in Mexico. She performed more over Puerto Rico and Mexico. Then she went to.
They had a crowd. Her crowd
That crowd was
did
definitely,
not mess with.
that crowd was definitely with her.
Did not mess with Belair at all.
They was booing her. I was surprised at that, though, man. I was like, wow.
Oh, and Rhea Ripley with Vega.
That was good for what it should have been longer though. But I mean, that's something like that. You just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fan service.
I didn't see that match. I saw up to Omos and
Okay.
Seth Rollins.
It was
Fan
But
service for the crowd.
I know the
Yeah.
results of everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
So yes, my least favorite, honestly, of the night was Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. It was the regular spots that we expect for Brock Lesnar: suplex. Some little bit of dirty outer ring fighting, suplex.
I told Brian I was surprised that Lesnar was actually working a match because it was a rumor going around saying that the fight was originally supposed to be a squash match, but I guess
fucking
words start
Cody.
getting out and then they end up changing it on the fly. So
I
who
mean,
knows?
Now, the ending of that match I felt was underwhelming. What happened to Lesnar, replaying it, I think really happened to him.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
online it said that he wanted to bleed the hard way.
Okay, because I replayed that scene. He really went into that thing and it dragged across his head.
Yeah.
He
And
sliced himself over.
it wasn't nothing that he did. That was
He did it on purpose.
that was a real cut.
It was on purpose.
and Vince ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Um,
'Cause they just had a thing the other day. They don't want them bleeding. They don't want them posting pictures of their injuries.
he was cut
They don't
open
want
good.
but Brock gets a different set of rules. So.
Okay,
Rock don't care. And I
but
like that.
yeah, it was underwhelming. It was an underwhelming match, and I'm waiting for this storyline to be over with. It's not going to be over with. I feel like Brock is going to keep interfering with Cody from now on until something happens.
To
But
me-
it's I don't like it. I
To
don't
me,
like
it's
it.
just one of the things. It's like, well, if Brock would have just beat his ass, then you'd have people online saying, "Well, Cody should have won." Now Cody won. Now everybody's saying, "Well, Brock should have won."
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't at this point.
Because Cody should have won that WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
That should have
Word
been
right out of my mouth.
And then
And so-
you could have had Brock come out and challenge
Literally
him,
took words out of my mouth.
and then that could be the feud going forward. Cody's
Yeah.
first. And how great would that be to be you're the
Your first
champion
match.
and your first feud out of winning the championship is freaking
Yeah.
Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
Like,
So
come on.
speaking of, so yes, what's his name will be retaining those two belts.
Yeah,
It's just the
weird.
third belt.
It's
now.
weird. It's weird. 'Cause
I wasn't sure if he was giving up one of the belts, but
the
he's
runner-up
keeping
title.
both of those belts.
But see, and this is my thing with that. So now you have
3 belts in rotation.
3 big titles, and then at the end of the day, how do you split? So are those 2 belts going to be
Merged
together forever? Which I personally think carrying 2 belts looks dope
Yeah,
aesthetically,
it does.
and
It looks
it
dope
looks
in the game,
dope.
It does.
but
Timmy
I'm
two
just-
belts is what
I'm
they
just
call them.
like,
It looks dope in the game. Too.
it's just like, are they now one entity, even though it's 2 belts? Or like, it's stupid.
It is stupid.
It's stupid.
Regardless, at the end of the day,
Whoever thought of-
Cody should have been having them,
Yeah.
and then split them up.
Whoever
Let
even
him
thought
say,
of
"All right,
putting
I'm gonna
both
put
of
one
them
up
together
for."
is Stupid. Though.
I mean, I was okay with him doing, but the amount of time that has gone by with him doing the same thing, interference to win, and that's what's bothering me. Cody was the perfect out to get him out of that.
Yeah.
You know,
And you know what I seen online where people were saying that Cody didn't. I think one of y'all even was back in this nonsense. They're saying that he didn't beat anybody to become champion. Like he didn't go through anything. Yeah. And I thought about that and I was like, So the same people who said that, do they agree with the fact that Goldberg came back on a Monday and then won the title from Lesnar a month later?
Right.
I mean, not even a full year of story. Like he was there for a month, came back and said, "I'm coming back to challenge," and won the title.
And do you?
So that's to me that as the kids say, that's cap because Cody Rhodes would have won that match because you let Goldberg come back and win. He was only there for a few months.
And technically, Cody had came back a year prior. It's just he was unfortunate enough to go through an injury,
and he got hurt, but he still was there a whole year, and he wrestled the best guy that's in pro wrestling in 3 matches that people were saying, "Hey, these are straight up." Which was
one of the best matches of the year, if not, however long.
Yeah. So how do you justify that and saying he didn't go through anything when the fact that you let somebody that's 20 years older than him, I don't know, come back and win in November and then lose in April,
right?
Like there's no, come on now, like that to me is weird. Like you, to me that just sounds like you don't like the fact that Cody Rhodes would have won.
Yeah,
and then
it's all cap.
I feel like,
as the kids say,
it's all cap.
They really missed the boat on. So you were bringing back another title, right? Like you were bringing back that quote unquote third title. You knew what the design was. It's that. Everybody knows it is Flair, inspired by the big belt that Flair held, the big belt, the big WCW heavyweight championship. Mm-hmm. It even still has a similar name, man, heavyweight championship. Mm-hmm. Who better to have won Roman's belts, and then you were going to come on Monday
with that thing
and be like, hey, and finish the story.
Nah, he's 3 belts.
Just
give me 3 belts.
Just ride this because it just popped in my head. Just ride this with me real quick. Pause. So you finished the story by coming out on Monday Night Raw, relinquishing those 2 belts that you just won from Roman, and you say I finished the story, and you premiere the belt that looks almost identical to the belt that they would not give your father his entire career. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. The story writes itself. Mm-hmm. And then he says, "I finished." And then you end it, "Dad, I finished the story." And then you have the belt that he should have won, which there's the rumors of him actually winning it, but not actually winning it. But that's old.
You're gonna have everybody in the audience tearing up.
Yeah,
and me personally,
in the moment right there, man.
I would have had Imperium take out Roman.
Yeah.
You know what I think they're doing for Roman?
Then you have a program going forward with,
and people are afraid of this happening, and I'm afraid of it happening too, because of the whole bloodline thing. Is that The Rock is going to eventually come back because of the whole Samoan?
Who cares? They don't even get a belt for that shit.
Nope.
I don't know if that's still on the table.
I mean,
I don't know if Rock is going to take the titles more as put that whole table thing to bed.
Yeah, I don't think you don't need a title involved in that.
Right. That
him saying I'm the head of the table.
Yeah, you come back and be like, I'm the head of the table.
Yeah. You've been saying this for too long, and I'm here to put that to bed.
You know it'd be crazy.
That's the match before the main event.
You know it'd be a twist if The Rock was like the heel of this the whole time.
No, we cool.
He's not gonna come back to heel.
I'm just throwing it out there.
That is
Heyman be his advocate, man. That would be something interesting.
That is the match before the main event.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But because there's definitely going to be tension in the bloodline at the moment.
Or that could be the main event of night 1.
Oh yeah.
True.
But there's definitely need to be somebody that has to take it. And from rumors saying now, he ain't going to lose that title till September next year, because that will break some other record.
Bruno's was it?
Somebody's
San
record.
Martino's record, I think.
No,
Yeah.
and
It would break.
Bruno's like 9 years or something.
I can't remember.
10 years. Nah,
I mean,
Bruno.
they didn't already put up the Iron Man damn here title, so they might as well let him run until he don't want to wrestle no more.
But yeah,
He the eternal champion.
the rumor is until September of next year.
Eventually, he's gonna end up fighting every member of the Bloodline 1-on-1 for the title, including Paul Heyman. So he's already fought Jey Uso. He's already fought Sami Zayn. So there's only Jimmy. Jimmy.
Well, now that he's on
Solo, and Paul
SmackDown, so
Heyman.
I do think it's gonna be.
Hey, Punk had a match with Paul Heyman that was entertaining. Yeah, we could book that shit.
You know, might as well.
Once AJ Styles does his run for the heavyweight championship, I don't think he's going to get it. I think that's where him and Roman and
Is losing?
OC is going to be
Another
OC
loser?
versus Blood. Yeah,
No loss.
yeah. It is.
He ain't lying.
That's what the storyline's going to be. It's going to be OC versus Bloodline.
If anybody who I'm booking with Roman when he come out Friday is Karrion Kross. That's the only match I'm giving him right now.
Might as well do something with him.
Because it doesn't really matter because they're not going to win anyway.
Yeah.
They could book us versus the Bloodline because we're going to lose.
So you book somebody, keep them looking strong, but it doesn't matter if they really lose. And Karrion Kross.
Because that person gets more TV time.
Yeah.
If Shinsuke was still on
Nah, you know who
SmackDown,
needs some TV time?
Who?
LA Knight.
Yeah.
I would be okay with
I
that.
like LA Knight.
I
He
would be
getting some
okay
good
with that.
pops. He's been getting some
He
good
cut a
pops
promo,
lately.
though.
Yes, he can.
He's been getting a lot of pops, and I think they got to give him at least one title run before he calls
Is
it
he on
quits.
SmackDown or Raw? Where he at?
I think he's on
SmackDown.
Ooh.
Where is
I
he?
think he on SmackDown.
Oh, wait. Did he get moved?
I don't know. But I know he can talk on that microphone.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
Yo, them promos when he was going with Bray Wyatt.
I liked him.
How?
I started being a fan of his when he was Eli Drake in Impact. When he used to call people dummies. Who was his stable? It was him, EC3, and
what's the name?
Rockstar.
He was the guy with
Rockstar
Wasn't he
Sponge.
doing the thing with the button? He was like, press the button.
Press a button, dummy. It was the three of them. Dixie Carter was in the group at one point. So yeah, they were good then. And Magnus too. Well, he was. What was he? Yeah, he's like Aldous now, right?
SmackDown. He's staying on
SmackDown.
SmackDown. So, yeah, he's on the same card with Roman.
Yeah.
I can see him getting a run.
But I don't.
He's getting a good pop right now.
What I don't like about wrestling promos now is like they don't like. What's the word I want to use? They don't be
Do your mama joke.
They don't be engaging like how they used. Cody Rhodes cuts an engaging promo every now and then, but like they don't have like I want to see Roman Reigns in the ring, and I want to see somebody LA Knight come out there, knowing that it can get bad for them right away, and cut a promo like he ain't even there.
And say, your mama so stupid.
Disrespectful.
Your mama so stupid. She thought USB was a country next to USA.
No, nothing like that. I don't want him like that. I don't want him to. No, I want to see somebody do that. I want to see someone cut a promo, and I want say someone cuts a promo against Roman Reigns, right? And the whole time they looking dead at Roman Reigns, nose to nose with him, microphone to the side, because if it's in front ways, it's gonna touch him. So you put it side to side with him, and you talk to him like he ain't there. You say everything to Paul Heyman. Say, Paul Heyman, tell Roman Reigns that come Backlash or whatever, I'm going to take his title from him. And ain't nothing that you or the Bloodline can do about it. Look directly at Roman, be referring to Paul Heyman. Like, that is, to me, that's some ill shit that they don't do.
Okay.
Because it's disrespectful. Because, like, if a motherfucker talking about he going to whoop my ass, and he ain't even looking at me, but addressing somebody else, like, come on now. You talk to me, I'm right here. But, they don't do that. I think that'd be one of the dopest things ever. I think Finn Balor did it once in NXT. And he was talking to what's his name? O'Reilly. But he looking at Adam Cole the whole time.
Yeah.
Like sizing him up. Like, to me, that shows that person talking mean business.
Yeah.
And he ain't scared of nobody. They don't do stuff like that.
Okay.
That's what I would do. If I was a wrestler, that's how I'd cut my promo. I'd get right in their face and address them, especially if they got a manager.
All right.
I just miss the old days when they used to be yell at everything.
I miss even like that Summer of Punk. It got to the point where you didn't even want to miss a segment. He was coming out. You knew it was just going to be a promo, but you didn't want to miss that promo. You didn't want to miss what was going to be said. Same thing. I felt the same way with Bray Wyatt for a while. Like when he first started doing the Fiend stuff, and he had the Firehouse.
You didn't want to miss the promo. Yep.
I would never want to miss the Firefly Funhouse because I'm like, oh man, what happened on it? Like now it's just like the promos are fillers, and it's just an in between.
There's no heart in them.
Get you to the next segment,
It's
but
just a dry script. Man. They're just reading off.
it's nothing like memorable where you went back, yo. I'm going on YouTube in 3 hours. Hopefully somebody already uploaded it so I could go back and listen to it, watch it again, and it don't even.
It's
happen
no
anymore.
thought in the process of cutting one down. It's a lost art now.
It feels segmentized. Like
OTs.
yeah, it's boring. It's boring. Like I can't even get excited for wrestling anymore.
Okay.
And side note, did anybody read what Trinity Fatu had to say about her exit and what had happened?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That she didn't like how she was being talked to, how she was being treated. Like there was obvious issues with the booking, but they said they got there. She didn't go into specifics like so and so said this, that, and the third, but she was like, I guess that Raw where everything she had already been feeling pent up about. She felt like she was stagnant. Nothing was really going
Right.
the way she wanted, and she was just wanting to grow. And I guess whatever happened that Monday night, and the way it sounded was everybody made it that it was Sasha that talked her into walking out, and they were having a hissy fit. What it sounds like was both of them were having probably separate issues that kind of converged together, and then it all came to a catalyst that night, and it was just like, yo, we out. And they said Sasha talked to Vince. He didn't really do anything about the match or the situation they were going to be in that specific episode, and that's when they decided to walk out. But she was like, just the way she was talked to, the way she was treated. And I know right now there's a African American woman who was a writer for WWE.
Big lawsuit.
She's got a lawsuit right now talking about some racial things going on.
And I'm not laughing.
Hold up.
But there is a thing, and I got to stay off Twitter. But they were saying, how did Vince get sued long before this? Because they were looking at some of the storylines that he's done. He really had a group. He really had a group of two black dudes called Crime Time.
R.I.P. Shad.
There was scenes of him saying all the non-Caucasians had to leave. Did you see that? Remember that part? He said all the non-Caucasians had to leave the stadium.
Rodney Mack with the white boy challenge.
That's some crazy
It was like,
shit.
how did he get in trouble before this? He was wilding for years.
He had Teddy Long calling all the other guys a
cracker.
I was like,
He was like, I don't know if you know this, but you're black. He said that to what's the coach?
And then,
Remember coach?
and then Vince dropping the N-word on live TV.
And then Booker T asked this stand there, tell me he didn't just, don't even get me started on Booker T. I'm gonna lay off Booker because he was one of my favorites.
The T stands for tap dancing?
Yeah, Booker tap dance.
But yeah.
So she's got the lawsuit
I did read that, yeah.
She's got the lawsuit going with like
apparently
treatment
she got some
and how
leverage and some weight behind it, man.
treatment and how the things were going and things behind the scene.
Yeah.
And you already know people going to defend WWE and Vince to the end of time. But I mean, like some just ain't cool, you know.
And that's one, and this lawsuit's one of them. Man.
And she probably also was looking at it like, y'all let Sasha and Bayley run all over the place when there was the pandemic going on. But then as soon as you get live crowds and you got us as champions, we ain't doing nothing.
Somebody did make a comment saying that the whole Sasha Banks and Trinity thing was okay for Vince because he had Bianca Belair in the wings.
That makes sense.
He's like, I ain't trying to have too many black ones in
He
here.
said, I don't care. Y'all can go.
He's
because
like, I got my black one.
Bianca Belair became everything that we thought Sasha Banks would be.
And all of that because she's a homegrown talent. And
But look at her ring. Look at her title. Look at her title ring. Look at her title ring.
Yep.
And then I'm not racist. I got a black women's champion.
Mm.
She has the longest title
Well,
ring.
she gonna have a longer run now because
In the
of
modern era.
lawsuit that's going on.
And you know what?
And they don't really have a definitive person that they can have to take the title from her right now.
So everything that was his that they gonna argue about Sasha, he said, "Well, look at Bianca."
And you know what don't sit right to me to this day? When they had Michael Cole come out there
and blast
and talk shit
About
on
them.
them.
Yeah.
Like, and then
And
that,
Corey
that's
Graves.
and Corey Graves, punk ass, and he got my girl pregnant. That's a whole nother story. And I'm not going to talk about
and
right
then
now.
a month later, then he turns around and has her signed because he couldn't keep his zipper up.
Because because it was like y'all going black. Because that's what kind of made me feel like it could have been kayfabe at first. I was like, nah, they ain't going. If it was real, they ain't gonna really say nothing on there and blast something like that. It's gotta be storyline. They gotta be coming back. It's gotta be part of the. And then when it started to turn into, that ain't. I'm like, yo, that's kind of grimy to talk shit on her, especially when you've had other people leave.
Right.
Well,
and do worse than that.
Well, the one person you gotta look at is Jimmy Uso. Like, that's his wife. You going
Yeah,
on
like, yo,
that.
man, yeah.
He's been okay. Super kick.
I'd have had to see.
Super kick.
I
I'd have had to see them in the locker room. Like, yo, fam, what you got to say about wife? Like,
Yeah, that was weird. That's a weird spot.
and shout outs to Jay Cargill. I read that Trinity Fatu, when she was going through everything when they left and all that, like she had went into a depression. She felt like she was at the lowest of her life. She said she didn't even know Jade. Jade texted her and was like, yo, this isn't the end of everything. Something I don't want to even misquote her,
but she reached out to
pretty
her.
much reached out to her, tell her this is not the end. You still got a lot more to go, and blah, blah, blah. You know, just giving some uplifting words. And she said that's how they became friends, because she was like, for somebody that I've never even shared a locker room with, to take the time out to hit me with that. And she said that really helped her a lot. So, shout out
and
to Jay.
hopefully Trinity has a good run on Impact. And it's a good time for wrestling. There's different programs, and they're kind of hitting some strides. And she can do good in that division with the Impact women.
I need Trinity versus Killer Kelly ASAP.
I'm gonna leave that girl alone.
Which one?
That girl in Impact that blew up. I ain't gonna say nothing.
That blew up.
She got strong.
She's talking about Jordan Grace.
Oh,
she's starting to come back.
I forgot about her, but I'm on.
She's cycling.
I think she's going to get back to her.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move on. We've been talking about wrestling.
We love you, Jordan Grace. If you ever want to be a guest on the show, you can take Tavon's seat.
Literally.
But the macho tip back on the
because she might pick him up and just physically move him. So.
But let's transition.
Tavon's leg dangling.
All right. So before we get into too deep on this, all right?
Oh, real quick.
Yes.
Johnny Cage casting.
Whack.
It's
All right. So let's go there first, real quick. All right. It has been rumors. I don't know if it's confirmed, but there's a lot of articles stating that Mortal Kombat has casted their Johnny Cage. The actor being Carl Urban, most recently known for his role in The Boys, but he's been around for a little bit. He had that. I always remember him from the Doom movie with The Rock. He was in
Lord of the Rings.
Dread. He was in one of the. He was in Thor. Ragnarok. Yes. So not American. I believe he's British.
Nah, he's New Zealand.
New Zealand.
He was also rumored for Snake Plissken at one point.
But I can see him in Snake Plissken. However, Johnny Cage is an American actor. For one, Carl Urban is a little bit older than I would like for him to be cast as Johnny Cage, outside of the looks. Secondly, he does not look like Johnny Cage to me.
He doesn't even look.
Thirdly,
he could have been Kano more than he could have been Johnny Cage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even when I looked at the picture when they quote unquote announced it, I'm looking like he looks kind of like Kano to me.
He could have been Kano.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it.
And
thirdly, I like Carl Urban as an actor.
And thirdly, The Miz exists. So.
Correct.
Right.
Well, a couple of people. The Miz. I was like, look, if y'all don't want to pay the Miz, y'all can get Sage Northcutt for cheap to nothing because he's not doing anything
Can
right
he
now.
act though?
Who cares?
Yeah.
At this point, he's modeled after Jean-Claude Van Damme. However, he's an American Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he's a kicker. When I look at Carl Urban, I don't think of a kicker.
Well, let's backtrack real quick just on like Mortal Kombat's genealogy. Because this whole thing started technically with Johnny Cage is because of Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude and Bloodsport.
The game was supposed to have been a Jean-Claude vehicle with Johnny Cage. That was supposed to have been his pilot. At the end of the day, I think it came down to money, and then they ended up he said no, but they still had the templates and everything, so they changed the whole game storyline to what it is now. So, but Johnny Cage was supposed to have been like the focal point of that whole thing because of Jean-Claude.
They could have got the dude. Sorry, go ahead.
My personal opinion, they could have picked. You got Scott Adkins floating right out there.
I can't even see Scott Adkins at this point.
Just because of the fact that he can fight.
Yeah, but the age group, I'm not seeing it. And, I would have rather got the guy from Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell. I'd have rather got him. I'm sure he'd have said yes. But I don't see Carl Urban at all. He's too thick in the face now.
He gonna be there for wearing glasses, looking cool.
Yeah, he's like 40, is probably closer to 50s. He's not what he was when he was younger.
His stuntman gonna get a lot of work.
It don't look like Johnny Cage.
There's gonna be a lot of cuts with his fighting.
And when I see him and I'm looking at him fighting, am I seeing Carl Urban doing the split nut hit?
It won't be him.
No,
I just can't believe it.
You'll see him go down.
I can't even believe
You're
him.
gonna see that from the back. It's gonna be this.
I can't even believe him doing the shadow kick.
It won't be none of that.
Not even the shadow kick. I don't think Carl Urban's legs go above his knee.
he's not a tall dude.
That's why I just don't believe it.
I'm not knocking the guy. The guy's a hell of an actor. I like him.
He could have been a Kano. Anybody else for all I care.
Just don't see him.
He could have been Baraka. Not Johnny Cage. That's the one. Obviously, he can't be Jax. He could have been. He could have been one of the robots.
He could have been Stryker.
The Stryker.
Yeah,
Stryker would have worked. I'd have been okay with it.
I just don't see
And
it.
you know what? They did decent in the first movie with the casting. And I'm just like, where are y'all going with it? Now I'm not having high hopes. Because the first one, I don't want to say underwhelmed. There was certain parts I liked.
It underwhelmed.
But like 70% of it, I was like, and it was only about 30%. And I was like, all right, this ain't bad. And basically, it was just the scorpion scenes that I liked. And outside of that, I didn't like anything else.
I saw it twice.
I don't remember anything about that movie.
I didn't care for it. I liked the scorpion scenes, and that was it.
All thing I remember about that movie is when the guy got the armor on his body, how it made me want to itch. That's the only thing. It made my stomach, or made my whole body itch. Like, yeah, that looked nasty.
Remember when he had the baby arms? Yo, for me, the best part of that one was Kano, because he was just fucking funny.
Kano was funny.
He was just
I like
hilarious.
Sub-Zero scenes though.
Kung Lao was good.
yeah.
They killed him.
It had some
Yeah,
good parts.
Brian
to
was
it.
mad when they killed him.
Yeah, that was. I ain't like that.
That took me out.
It was cool that they had fatalities finally, but
Yeah,
the story was
they need a better writer.
The story was definitely.
They need a better writer.
They need that AI, like you were talking about.
They probably do.
Like, I felt like they could have just made it a Scorpion Sub-Zero movie. You didn't have to have other characters.
I think
It
that
could have been
animated-
I think they could
It
have
could've
just
been
not
a
hired
prequel.
that main character
It could have been a prequel movie.
What was his name?
and just made a Mortal Kombat movie again.
Cole.
Yeah, and just made the '90s Mortal Kombat movie again. I'd have been alright
Oh jeez.
with the same people with the new cast.
No, yeah, you can't
Just
have
make the same plot line.
Can't have the same people.
Is he even
Not
going to
saying-
be in
but
the
the
second
new-
one? The guy that played
I
Cole.
don't know. Fuck it.
They ain't said.
It was a waste.
Oh,
It was
matter
a
of
waste
fact-
of a story.
matter of
that
fact,
was a studio mandated decision.
And didn't the guy that played Kano pass away in the
Oh, he
first one?
did.
He did.
The first movie.
You mean did Kano die or did the actor
yeah.
die?
The actor
The actor,
who played him in the
In
first
the
movie.
very first, the Mortal
oh,
Kombat, he committed suicide.
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah. No, I mean get the
Nah,
new
he
cast,
had overdose.
I mean, yeah, no.
but
I
just
was
take the
saying,
story from the first movie and just redo it with the new cast. That'd have been okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Not the original cast. But all right, what we all came here for.
Oh, and
today.
speaking of, real quick, R.I.P. It came out. Sarah Lee died from suicide. That's very unfortunate for her and the family. They just got the. I know she passed in October, but they just got the
report
put out the official.
Yeah. Prayers to our family. Man.
All right, now to come up to something that might make you sad as
it's gonna make you sad anyway, but a good sad.
Make you gonna laugh and you gonna cry.
All right, so here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out. All right. I'm gonna say.
Hold on.
Don't you say something else?
Hold on. No, I'm not gonna say that. But I'm gonna say, folks, if you have not seen Guardian of the Galaxy,
well, no, I'm not gonna say nothing. Spoiler right now.
Oh no,
I'll get to that point.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. And what I'm gonna say right now is, damn, he did not walk. Sorry, what was that?
No, he ain't walk.
Euro step. Euro.
All right, sorry. What I'm gonna say is the reviews that came out initially. I don't know if they were trying to get bombed or what, but I kept seeing like a lot of 7s and 8s as professional reviewers were reviewing the movie as a 7 and 8. Now, as I watched that movie, I'm hard pressed to think about, is this the best movie I've seen since Endgame? I'm not saying I'm right or wrong on whatever way you debate about that, but there is an argument that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, even probably prior to Endgame, I'm going to tell you my top 5. That's where I'm going to go. In my top 5 includes Winter Soldier, Black Panther 2, Spider-Man 3,
No Way Home,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and whatever other one would be my 5th.
That would be Endgame.
I think I like
Infinity War more than Endgame.
That's
I don't know which one I got higher ranked. What I liked about Endgame was the ending. I don't think any other movie satisfied me more than that last whatever is in that fight. Because I'm a Captain America fan. There's a lot of fan service in that last fight. You got to see everybody together. Everybody got their shine in the fight.
And you got to see what Cap has been.
However, Infinity War may have been a better movie in the whole.
It had more stakes.
It was more. It was more meat. In Infinity War.
And Infinity War, they did something which is kind of crazy. They let the villain win.
Yeah, but it just felt like it was more a bigger movie for some reason.
Infinity War, that shit.
Even though like Endgame had more actors, it felt like Infinity War was the bigger movie.
I like Infinity War better.
I think Infinity War was. I think it's better just because the possibilities that no one seen, coming. Like everyone assumed that just because it's a Marvel movie that the Avengers was going to win. At the end, in some capacity, something was going to happen, and Thanos returns.
I knew it was going to be a bad ending because I didn't. In the story, in the comic book, Thanos originally wins, and it's him getting tricked into believing that he didn't.
Only reason why I didn't have that same mindset is because just how their structure is. Like they have an underwhelming villain. That
I had a feeling that's why when they split it up, I was like, yeah, it's not going to end well in that first one.
Yeah, but
I didn't think time travel was going to be the reason.
Yeah,
I knew it was some shit once. He beat the shit out of Hulk in the beginning. I said, "Oh, this is how we start the movie."
Yeah, it felt like it just felt more meat on the bone. That's the way I could best explain it. The story, the stakes felt bigger. Everything just felt like something don't feel right now. But I'm gonna keep watching.
but can we just take a moment to just savor that moment when the guy was coming? He was like, "Oh, sir, do you want me to?" When he was going to step in to help with the Hulk, and Thanos was like, let him have his fun." And then he came over and said, "Pop, pop, pop."
Chop him in the throat.
Yeah, I don't talk bad about the Hulk, so Hulk's my boy too. Hulk my boy.
Hulk ain't been the same since.
They doing the Hulk dirty in the Marvel Cinematic.
They just gave him a bunch of outfits in the next one.
Yeah, they're doing the Hulk dirty.
He had more.
I don't think they don't have no choice though.
Yeah, they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
so hopefully they could get that squared away to give him just one good day in the sun. But yes, what we are here for,
It's,
right?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. So before we tell everybody to get off because of spoiler reviews, I just want to hear what you rate the movie 1 out of 10. All right, we can go down the line, and then I'll give a spoiler alert. And if you haven't seen it, go ahead and click away. But we'll get to that when I get to it. So yes, Jason, 1 through 10, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm somewhere in between 9 and 9.5. 9.5, 9 and 9.5.
Okay. Julian?
9.
Brian?
I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. I'm going to go with 9. All right. So, yes, everybody listening, everybody watching, this is your spoiler alert. We will now be talking a little in depth with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So if you have not seen it and do not want to be spoiled, this is your time to please click away from the video. But before you do, please don't forget to like. If you got any comments, go ahead and comment. Please subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Follow us on Instagram. That's The Watchers, WATCHERZ podcast. All right.
We got a logo.
So it's time. I think they should have been clicked away by now.
Spoiler talk.
Spoiler talk.
Get out. Get out now.
Brian, I am a little interested in why you gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8 because it would have been a perfect movie had Adam Warlock been a different character. I don't think that Adam Warlock was utilized in a way that served the caliber of character he really is in the comic books. I don't think he was treated right.
Correct. Okay.
And I think that's
Okay.
That's what brings
Okay.
it. If he was if we had already had like Adam Warlock and who he's really supposed to be, the movie's a 10.
I get it.
He's a 10.
And
The movie's a 10.
Part of the overall storytelling that happened in that first few phases has been my gripe of why wasn't Adam Warlock introduced. For what they settled on, not using him in the Infinity Saga, but still wanting to introduce him.
Which he should have definitely been a part of.
Correct.
He should have been.
But they still introduced him. I'm okay. I'm okay today. If you'd have told me this 2 years ago, hey, we're not going to get out, or whatever, before Infinity War, we're not going to get out of Warlock until years after Endgame, I'd have been like, what the fuck is y'all doing? But now that we're here today, I am okay that Adam Warlock is in it, and he's not in his capacity that he should have been in. I do wish in a perfect world he was introduced properly with his right powers, with the right storyline. Yes, perfect world. I do wish that. I get your point. I'm not going to argue it. I agree. I agree.
If I'm gonna base it off of what's already been done and said in the movies, I'd swap out him for Nova.
So
and squash the whole sovereignty thing because they were underwhelming. They weren't even necessary.
So
and that homegirl was like obligated to come back.
If you watch an episode, I'll get you the info of Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It was a Disney series.
Oh yeah, that was good shit.
Animator is the same animator who made
Boy Kirkland, I think.
Young Justice series.
Oh.
He animated both for the comics.
Well, I know you're talking.
But either way, there's an episode featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy. That cast of that Guardians on the show, and I think this is where it came into play. Rocket, Groot, Peter Quill, Adam Warlock, Quasar is the team that comprises of the Guardians of the Galaxy. In the end of this movie, there is a young woman with white hair. One eye glows, her hands glow. Very reminiscent of what Quasar looks like. And I'm almost 100% sure that's who it is. And I think that is the roster that they're trying to move forward with if they ever come back to this IP again. Which is why I don't hate it that they did it. Because there is a version out there where it's Adam Warlock, Rocket, Groot, Quasar, Peter Quill.
And I get that, but I don't think she's Quasar. I think she's that one that grew up to be her own Captain Marvel.
There is
they
some,
got the same look because she got the slashes on her faces and all that.
Yeah,
but me personally, I think because you already established in Infinity War that Thanos destroyed the Nova Corp, and you've been hinting that Nova is going to be coming back to get his retribution.
I think they're waiting for Nova because he's going to be a younger actor along with Spider-Man.
I think you have a storyline built in that Nova's upset that he didn't get his opportunity to destroy Thanos, and that's why he's mad at the Guardians.
Yeah,
he's making his way. He's
I'm not disagreeing.
He's starting with the Guardians, and then eventually he moves to Earth to try to beat them down because he's upset that he didn't get his opportunity to kill Thanos. But in this movie, you convert him and you make him a hero, but you still let him go off and do his own thing.
I'm not debating that, and that's a viable option. I do personally think, but again, a lot of this stuff is based off other iterations of how they use these characters in like cartoons and animated movies and comics.
I get that.
I think they're going to save Nova to be younger in age because there's like a whole thing that happened on Disney as well with Nova, Spider-Man, White Tiger, and she's coming along. Wednesday Addams, what's her name? Jenna Ortega has been cast as White Tiger.
And all that is fine. Yeah. And all that is fine, but still at the same time, I'm like, you had the sovereignty, whatever they're called.
Yeah, they dropped the ball with that.
Like you have them being created by the higher evolutionary, and I'm like, has higher evolutionary?
Oh, sorry, you're talking about the sovereign. Yeah, sorry,
the gold people who he was with. Yeah. Like is there any incarnation where the higher evolutionary ever created Adam Warlock? In the comic books, or they drawing from a comic where
they made their own story. They tied it in. Adam Warlock is born from the cocoon. I can't remember his origin.
Yeah, it was a cocoon. He was basically born to fight Thanos, I believe. I think. Don't quote me on it.
I think
it wasn't high evolutionary per se, but he was birthed from the cocoon, and they were tying it in the second movie to be tied in with Aisha, and he is supposed to be tied with Aisha, and Adam and Aisha are tied together.
I didn't have a problem with that, but were they necessary?
I think in the story of Guardians of the Galaxy, they should have been in it, yes.
What did they do? What was their contribution to that movie, The Guardians 3?
Who? Adam and Aisha? I think, just in their comic book history, they best fit with Guardians of the Galaxy.
But with this movie... Did they have
Aisha was there because he should have been in the second movie with Aisha, but they didn't put him in.
Okay.
They messed up by making Ego the villain in the second one.
So there's no reason for him.
They had a good villain with her. They just threw Ego in there. They threw two villains.
Just me personally, I just think that they weren't necessary because it was only the two of them, and it wasn't like they had the whole Sovereign Army. That they got beaten prior, and then. The Guardians got to fight High Evolutionary and his people next. Like it was literally them two, and she died unceremoniously, and then he got a second chance to be a part of the group.
So here we go. This is the tie-in. Scientists on Earth calling themselves the Enclave created an artificial perfect human who initially calls himself him. After rebelling against his creators and having conflict with Thor, he decides to leave Earth and travel into space. He encounters the High Evolutionary who gives him the name Warlock. So he does have ties into the High Evolutionary.
So basically they didn't want to redo Vision.
What Vision was stolen from Warlock.
Yeah.
Warlock was the one with the gemstone.
So Vision, so they gave Adam Warlock's
Vision in the MCU got stolen from Warlock. Stole his principle from Warlock.
Well, originally Vision was Wonder Man.
Yeah.
They just put Wonder Man's brain patterns in him. They basically made Warlock. They made Warlock Vision.
The High Evolutionary requests Warlock's help in saving the artificially created planet Counter-Earth from the evil man-beast and gives Warlock the green soul gem.
So he didn't create,
which allows Warlock to capture souls of other beings.
I don't know.
But he's played both sides in the books, though.
And then it was like a throwaway line. Well, Higher Evolutionary said, I created you guys to do something. I don't even remember what he said. I'm going to go back and watch it again to find out. But he's like said a throwaway line. And it was just kind of like, oh, he created them too. Like it was like, was it necessary, bro?
So now on the flip side, I'm sorry. I want to look up his name because I don't want to get this wrong. The actor who played High Evolutionary, I thought did a fantastic job.
Oh my God, he's number one now.
The character development,
best villain Marvel's put out,
and
hands
just
down.
The belief that I had watching him, I was like, "What the fuck?"
You know what's crazy?
It felt different. His villainy, whatever the word I'm looking for, just felt different from a lot of the other villains.
Yeah.
That is what I should have felt from Christian Bale.
Is God Gore to God?
Gore to God.
I 100% agree with that.
That conviction that he had made him scary.
Yeah.
He believed in all his heart what he was doing, and that is what makes you scary.
Bro.
Yep.
Not what they did with that new Darth Vader dude who was going to be Reed Richards. I hated that damn Star Wars trilogy. The new one.
It was nice.
He was so uncertain about being bad.
And you know what was crazy?
And he didn't really beat anybody. The chick was whooping his ass in every counter.
And when he was first casted as the villain, everybody was just like, whatever, because they didn't know that what that guy was going to do with that evolutionary character was going to be something.
Solid.
His name, actor, Chuck Iwuji. All right, y'all take it however y'all want to say it. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I hope I said it right. But fantastic job. Fantastic job.
He outdid Jonathan Majors.
Yep.
Oh, for sure. I don't think we got the best of Jonathan Majors yet, but for sure.
If we're gonna compare one movie to one movie,
he for sure out villain. Yeah, smoked. That was the best villain I've seen in quite a long time.
He's the best Marvel
in any Marvel movie
right now, my opinion.
When you were talking about top 5, I don't want to do a top 5. If I'm gonna do top 3, it's that Wakanda Forever and No Way Home. And the only reason why I make that third is because of Adam Warlock.
Okay.
Like if Adam Warlock wasn't in that movie and it was just how it was, it'd be number 2.
Okay.
I think it had that much.
What was your number 1?
Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
It had that much. It had that much more. The characters were more vulnerable. And it's like I felt for them more, like especially
something about this movie.
And you know what line really
had
got
you
me?
in it. It had, and I'm not gonna lie, something about it had me immersed in this fucking story.
You know what had me?
And I'm like, I don't really care, but for some reason, my fucking feelings was in it.
You know what plugged me in? What had me from the word go? Where I was like, I already know I'm coming to see this again. I don't care what happened. Is when Quill was trying to save Rock in the beginning. He said, it's my fault. Had I not have been drunk. When he said that, I was like, oh, we ain't never got that before.
I don't know what part I got sucked in that, but by the time stuff start transpiring, I'm like,
because you almost got it. You almost got it in Endgame. You almost got it in Endgame.
I didn't get shit like this in Endgame.
It was close. No, if you think about the scene when they went to go get Thor. And he was like, we don't mention his name here.
Yeah.
It was right there. Yeah. But they didn't cross that line.
Yeah.
But when Quill was like, he was like, how he said it, the tears in his eyes, all that got me. He was like, had I not have been drinking, like I was like, ooh.
I'll give you that chance.
Because who's been there? Like all of us have been there when it's like something happened that wouldn't have happened had we not have been doing something we weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
That got me.
Man, my thing with this Guardians 3, I gave it a 9. I was with Brian just because of how they did Warlock, but the thing that really sucked me into this was Rocket's story. I mean, just his origin, because you knew something bad happened when they brought out the three other characters. But when they start going around and they start showing Rocket's origin and everything, and then he had a plan that he was going to get his friends out, and then when he evolutionary shot his girl. I never felt that way about animals in a movie in my life. Man,
what about Free Willy when he jumped over? He could touch the whale almost. Nah, I'm just making light.
Only one movie like messed me up, man, was Homeward Bound. When Shadow found the young boy at the end. I put a man tear up here. But I mean, all serious though. But when the Rocket story when he was just basically was like, I'm going to get us out of here. We're going to fly out. And then when Evolutionary killed his girl, and then had the friendly fire and got his friends killed, and then just the rage of Rocket when he went in on Evolutionary's face and just destroyed him. I was like, man, I've never felt that way about an animated character, and you could just feel for him even at the end when they split. He was like, man, the only family I had was gone. Now I'm leaving again. Now I'm alone again, and now he's basically the leader of the Guardians.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, if I'm looking at this now, just Rocket's character in general, you can say they were kind of like slowly building him up as the leader of the Guardians movies.
Well,
with some of
there was a questionnaire that came out, and James Gunn said that Rocket was his favorite character out of the group. And
do y'all watch the I'm gonna finish the statement. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
No, do y'all watch like when they do the red carpets premieres? Like I watch every one of them that they do. It's on YouTube. They do it live. And when they were having this Guardians red carpet, and Bradley Cooper was walking on stage and they was talking to him, the smile on his face let me know that this was going to be something different, because everybody else like, oh, this movie's good, and you heard James Gunn talking about how this is Rocket's story, it's going to be what he's doing, and then when he gets up there and he's just like all smiles and he's like, yeah, people are going to like this one, and I said, yo, Bradley Cooper, you ain't fooling me. I already know this is going to be something spectacular. And like he said, man, it just has so much heart in there. Like it's hard to get that out of these movies because they pluck them out so fast. But when you get to like that third trilogy, or you get to a point where it's like something really happened and you had to alter what you was doing to make a better product, like No Way Home, that and Wakanda Forever, they stand out over everything that they've done, throughout the MCU. And honestly, I think even if Chadwick Boseman not have passed and they made a Black Panther 2 with him, fought Namor, could have been a great fight and all that stuff, I don't think it would have been better than what we saw with Guardians 3. Yeah. Even with all that happened. I think you was like, yeah, that was good, but remember, man, like Rocket's backstory was
everybody was good in it though, man.
When he was smarter than him, when he was smarter than Higher Evolutionary, and he was so pissed off that he said, I'm gonna kill on everybody because of it,
And I'll get to that. I want to hear Jason's points. But yes, again, part of it, High Evolutionary did a good job, man. Mm-hmm. And it made you, to me, his conviction made the sympathy I had for Rocket come through. Mm-hmm.
He was the first villain in there that I actually hated.
He was not cool. He was not cool.
Because normally it's a cool villain. This one, you wanted to see him get ended real quick.
Jason.
All right, so the only questionable thing was the same with them. Adam Warlock.
Okay.
Why was he really here?
Mm-hmm.
He had the moment when he came into the story, and then the other moment of that you really pay attention to him was when he saves Quill. Like he saves Quill. And I kind of felt like when it was happening, I was like, Quill's not gonna die. So Adam Warlock's gonna save him.
When his face puffed up, though.
Yeah, I was almost.
I had a moment.
He started looking like Yondu.
I was like, oh, are they really gonna kill him off? Mm-hmm. But I just kept feeling like I said, Adam Warlock's gonna be the only one that.
But even when he got him, I thought it was a wrap. Still, I thought they were just giving him a moment to get a couple last words out. And I was like, oh, damn, I'm about to leave out here crying. Because James Gunn got a record of killing a favorite character off.
And I thought that for a moment, but my only thing is I'm big on foreshadowing. Earlier in the movie when he was asked about does he ever go back to Earth to see his grandfather, I knew he was going to live. Okay. That just told me he's going to live to the end of this movie. He's going to go back to Earth. That's how I took that.
Just imagine how much more devastating it would have been.
I'd have cried.
Had Rocket been the one delivering his backpack to his grandfather.
Yeah, that'd have been crazy.
That would have been even. Ooh, Lord.
If Rocket would have been because Rocket was there, Rocket would have seen him die and did this whole. I'd have let out.
Yeah, but I think that would have gave the poor grandfather a heart attack. Talking raccoon brought you dead.
Well, I don't think you get it. I don't think you get a grandfather thing. I think you get a mantis going back to Earth to tell the grandfather about his granddad.
But you know what else was crazy? I mean,
I'm gonna get this one out real quick. Well, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there was just a lot of scenes in the movie where even though the action was good, it was just the scenes of certain scenes in general was what really drew me in.
So the dialogue was great. I feel like the comedy. This is before Guardians 3. To me, the funniest Marvel movie that wasn't bad, like stupid funny, but it was funny in the context of the movie was Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok was hands down to me the most entertainingly funny one while still being a good, superhero movie with action and whatnot. This one took the cake. Like this one
had some
had
funny
us
moments.
bag, and I was telling Brian, I was like, yo, they had to make us laugh so hard because they knew what they were going to do to us by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, how do you have me laughing so hard in this movie, and then you hit me with the heavy shit that you hit me with?
Yeah.
One big thing that I really liked about it was when they were giving you Rocket's backstory, they gave it to you in pieces, and then you'd leave it and you'd almost forget about it, but then they come back, give you a little more of his story, and then you leave it, forget about it. I mean, you didn't forget about it, but you go on to something else, and then they give you more.
The pacing was really good.
Yeah, more and more and more. I'm like, oh, and I knew it wasn't going to end well for. I just knew. I was like, man. I'm feeling. At first, I was like, these weirdos, man. Got the walrus with the wheels,
and they made you like them, man. You could not like them.
You got Cyborg Otter over here.
They could call me Teeth. I was like, oh my god, damn, why you got call me Teeth?
The first one,
like god damn.
The rabbit was freaking me out at first. I didn't like how the rabbit looked. I was like,
if y'all watch it again and you hear the rabbit, in the fucking background.
Oh yeah, you hear it, and towards the end, you hear it.
Oh man, I could not get watery, bro. When they floor rocket go, floor rocket go, and she get floor rocket teeth go, floor rocket, and then you stop hearing it. Oh no!
And it really messed me up when they got names though, man. I was like,
that's when it got teeth.
So we got names.
Teeth had me, man.
Yeah,
Teeth had me.
And like I said, that when they got it, and then just seeing Rocket's rage, just go off on him.
But
well, then
go ahead, finish it.
So then, that was added into like just his story as you're congruently telling a whole present day story. I liked how they paced that. I also liked the dialogue. Like the Evolutionary, he was getting some shit off. Like towards the end when the lady that was with him finally figured out, like, bro, you done lost your whole mind. And then he was like, there is no God. That's why I stepped in. I was over there. Like,
his conviction, the greatest I've seen, probably in any modern comic book movie. Yeah. I don't think I've felt this with anyone else that what I felt with him.
Yeah, this was definitely the most, besides Wakanda Forever, this was the most emotional, taxing movie to watch in a good way, a good way, but still it's emotionally taxing. But what messed me up with the Evolutionary when what's her name? Called him RoboCop.
Yeah, that was funny. That was the best.
I could not see it after he said that. You RoboCop looking up. But I absolutely loved the dichotomy, just what they gave you comedic wise, and you're just thinking, oh, this is going to be a funny, let's go for the ride, but you knew it was a dark side to the story because you're getting Rocket's story, and just you really get a sense of who he is and what he is. And then it really messed me up too, not messed me up, but like when he throughout the movie he say, I'm not a raccoon, I'm not a raccoon, I'm not a and then he finally saw the plate and the tag of what they were, and then when he finally was like said his name, he's like a rocket raccoon. I was like,
So
Mother Mary and Joseph.
and you know,
I didn't come here for all this.
even another part that hit me was when Quill and Gamora went at the end. When she went off on him and was basically saying like she ain't the girl that.
No, that's not the end. That's at the
the beginning. But as it went on, but at the end when they was going about their business and she was just
they made peace with
what it was. And
that part was deep.
That hit hard.
But you know what else? The part that got me was when she told him towards the beginning when he kept trying to make that connection. Part that got me with her was when she was like, "What is it in you that you're so desperate to make me this thing?" And I was like, "Damn."
That was hard.
I was deep.
So we're getting a little high on time, but I want to leave a question with you guys, and we can pick it up next week, or unless you want to give something brief. James Gunn, now leading DC. Okay, and I know you guys didn't like the Adam Warlock part, but part of me watching Adam Warlock scenes, in particular his action scenes, thought about how that correlates to how he's gonna make Superman.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Watching Adam Warlock outside of Adam Warlock's story, but look at the Superman-esque aspect of Adam Warlock, how he had him moving, some of the flight scenes. I'm like,
he may got something.
Yeah, I think
that what he did, and he uses bright colors. A lot of bright scenes. Superman is the brightness of DC, where Batman is the darkness of DC, right? I can see a direct correlation of what he's doing with Adam Warlock, how he's going to apply that to Superman. And I would like to see that same principle, some of that same scene cuts, especially with him flying, that close up of flying. If they don't have that in Superman, I'm gonna be a little upset.
Well, we know it's gonna be
they got to bring that back. They have to bring that back. But look at the fight scenes, the visuals that he done in this movie.
That end fight was
not even the end fight. Well, the one prior to the end fight. So my end fight in my mind is when they trashed Evolutionary. They came in there and did not play no games for about good 30 seconds, all hands. But that hallway scene prior,
that's probably one of the best.
One of the best
comic fights I've ever seen.
And it was all of them together. And you know what it is? It was the typical cannon fodder fight scene, but it was a contained one
that's what I was gonna
that they've never done before.
And it was done right.
So I'm going to say, because I've been vouching for James Gunn since it's got announced, all I'm going to say and leave you guys with this question. How do you guys feel today about James Gunn leading DC's efforts?
I'm here for it.
I'm going to be. I'll say this. I was nervous just because of not James Gunn, but it's just DC in general. This what they've been doing. After Guardians 3, I'm going to give James Gunn the benefit of the doubt on some of the decisions that he is making now, because he clearly cares about these characters. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, he does care about them. I think he's going to do the right thing with some of them. But if he can deliver with this Guardians 3, I mean, if me as a viewer, if he had me caring about an otter, a walrus, a rabbit with metal legs, and a raccoon, having me coming out of there feeling differently, I'm pretty sure everybody's, after this, they're going to say that, okay, we got a guy that's got a clear-cut vision on what he's going to do. I just think what DC needs to do is just let James Gunn do his thing and just try not to micromanage. Just let
get out of his way.
Let him stay out of his way, especially after watching this. Stay out of his way.
Okay. Anybody else?
I feel the same way I felt last week.
Which was you don't fuck with it. Okay.
I mean,
okay. I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong.
But also, side note on the point of the Guardian Galaxy, I feel like everybody got great character development just in this movie. Quill got great character development. Drax got some great character development. Mantis, great character development by the end of the movie. You know, Gamora, not the character development you thought she was going to get, because I kept thinking, oh, she's going to eventually remember who he. Nope, you didn't get that, but she had character development, and even Groot actually said words.
Yeah.
And side note, my part when I knew something was gonna go down when he gave Groot the guns and he's like, you know what to do with these, and then that fight scene where he had them all out and had all the arms. Oh my God, that thing. And then I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more to say about that.
Yeah.
I just feel like trying to
we
compact
Even the
it.
chick,
can
the chick who played Nebula was good. I mean,
Who?
her sister.
Nebula.
Nebula.
That's what. Yeah, I was forgetting Nebula. Nebula
She had a real good arc in that. Yeah. She was like the balance of like the mom at one point.
Yeah.
Some of them.
And then I was a big fan of the scenes when they got to what was it, alternate Earth 2, something
Counter
Earth. The animal and the character designs of them and just how they were living regular lives and stuff like that. That shit was entertaining, like the car and all that. It's like,
So it was good. It was a good movie.
And the fact that the evolutionary just destroyed everything.
Yeah,
I was like,
And he's done it more than once.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, anybody was smarter than him. He was just like, oh, you gone.
No, he want to rock his brain.
So yes, great movie.
Hey, yo.
I don't know what's next, but in terms of at least comic book movies, we'll be getting the Flash soon. But I was trying to think of what's the next Marvel movie.
And Marvels.
The Marvels. Okay.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. Yeah.
They said that. Y'all hear that's gonna be like 2 hours long, right?
I'm not gonna be watching it.
The Marvel. Oh, the Spider-Verse.
No, I'm not gonna be
The
watching
Marvels.
Marvels.
Because it's women, right?
Not because women.
He-Man, women hate his
I
club.
love women, but yeah, that shit, I mean, this is like something I could watch on USA.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're a little long. We almost had 2 hours today. Some good talk. And if y'all want to bring Guardians back up another episode, we can always come back to it. I think overall consensus, great movie, and recommend to go see it. You shouldn't have been here listening to us if you hadn't seen it. But I'm probably going to go see it again.
Me too.
Outside of that, any other thing you guys wanted to go back to about today? Anything I forgot? Can't think of anything.
I think we hit all the bases.
Like you said, go see Guardians.
Yeah.
Yes, please see it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, episode 33? Did I say? 33 of them things. Watchers Podcast. WATCHERZ Podcast. And you see the name on the wall now. Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. That's where you can find us. Individually, I'm Tavon. Tri-State Tip on IG.
Tiger Helly 19, Snapchats, IGs, Government, Jason Williams, Facebook, Follow the Stripes.
The Damaging on Instagram and Julian Smith on Facebook.
What was that?
I just wanted to do that.
Smittywood 365 on Instagram.
And that's for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, comment, and subscribe and all that good fun stuff. Until next time, peace.
Make sure you drink water.